Just underneath the roof edge here on this train depot, and like all the other facades this year, I stuck the RGB sign module lights just hidden under there to kind of shine down the sides of the building, and we chose colors that were kind of matching the paint schemes on the building. So each one of these little slots has a few lights on them, and the wiring just runs on to the inside of the wall. In the front edge here, I just have a couple of them. One that shines on the inside against the sign right here, the ticket window sign, and one for the outside to shine down on the Grave Rock Gulch sign. Inside the train depot in the bottom corner, I have these two RGB lights turned on green, and that kind of gave some light to shine all around in this room onto these bookshelves and the back of the skeleton. He has a little modified lantern. I just got a flicker bulb, one of those small ones, and it worked fine. I don't really like these things because they tend to stick sometimes. You've got the LED inside his head. The wire runs up his back and then in a little cut hole in the back of his head. Okay, inside our little potbelly stove in our train depot, I took the two bulbs out of the light fixtures that we had on our columns for our cemetery last year, and I just set them in there real carefully. You know, it wasn't going to be something permanent, so I didn't go to too much trouble, but I just ran the wiring down below. Again, a lot of this stuff is done so fast, but there are the speakers draped inside the upper corner of the train depot. I'm back behind the barber shop, and this is the enclosure. It's got a bunch of leaves on it. But that's where all the cables for the train depot come in through this hole and connect, and then all the lights in all the windows of the barber shop up there and up there. And then we've got this American DJ strobe light, and there's also one in the general store, but this one's cool because it has the adjusting knob. This one's actually set to the, I think, the highest speed, and the one in the general store is set to the lowest speed. But you can get them online. On the barbershop facade, since it has like a red color to it, we decided to go with the red light, so you'll see them going across the top there. I had two LEDs, strain relief down to the window seal on both sides, and those are a white light that shines up onto the curtains. We mounted one of these black lights that's against the side of the barbershop, and that's what casts most of the light for the fountain and the cactus needles over here in the corner. I'm back behind the mission and have one of the enclosures. There's actually a dimmer set up to this one. I have several of these. I just didn't use them this year, and I had intentions of hooking them up so that I can control some of the intensities on some of the facades. I actually thought they were a little too bright, but the light for the bell is a couple modules up above it, and I wanted to have like an orange color, so I did the two different modules, and then if you control the intensity of one or the other, it kind of gives you that orange color when it shines on the bell. On the first floor of the saloon, Gina made these awesome curtains and shredded the edges of them, and then she dressed it with this gold rope, and we thought that the red light just inside would really kind of accent that and help with kind of show it a little bit. Show you the one over here. Little Davy Crockett inside having a shot or two. Those are actually some shot glasses we got from Mike B. They're awesome. So looking inside the window of the saloon, you can see the LED modules right there that give the little window its red light on the first floor. Inside here you can see our little drinking skeleton. We actually put the pump in and installed the clear hose, but it just ran out of time before Halloween came and went. Under the table here was a computer speaker that we had plugged into another phone, and that played our saloon music. We had that kind of just down enough to where when you walked up to the windows you would hear some music faintly. There's another speaker on the ground back there. There's wires everywhere. Underneath the saloon front porch here, I have 2 LED modules on each side and then 2 in the center. So you've got these 2 here right in front of the saloon door and then 2 more over there. And what I did is I did the exact same thing on the top side of the porch. So you've got 2 there, 2 right behind the Full Moon Saloon sign, and then 2 just below our little bad guy here having a shootout. The little saloon girl skeleton, she's got blue eyes. Each one of these little windows, we have like a purple light set up, just one in each window. I actually had intentions of putting some black duvetine behind those, just like there, and we were actually going to have a couple heads popping up and down out of each window from this side to this side. So up on the saloon, just right behind the trunks, I had the 2 speakers kind of hiding behind these trunks here. In the back of each one of our facades, I have a couple power strips that I just mounted to the wall, and I have all the stuff just plugged in there. All the LED lights that are on the saloon and some in the mine all run all the way through here. And you know, like up from the window there's one light. You can see how I screwed one of those little pieces of scrap fence boards and then just mounted using strain reliefs a little light on the top of that. And there's one right over there. But all the wires kind of real fast ran through and connected in there. And like I've showed you guys before, basically all my yellow wires go on this side, and then I can choose what color I want on this side by just attaching the blue, red, or green. And this is all low voltage, so there usually is a lid that goes on here. I just don't have it on right now. But all that is powered by one phone charger, which is right there. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm over on the side of the mine. You can see the cart right there, and the sound that came from the detonator TNT box was actually all from here. We had this BlackBerry phone with the noise or the sound effect constantly on repeat, and that was plugged into a constant power supply to keep it charged. But it was then connected to this computer speaker that was also connected to the subwoofer, along with several of these speakers inside the rocks and stuff. I pulled some of them out so you guys could see it. But every time the detonator box handle would go down, it would set off a motion sensor that would turn on the speakers, and then that gave us your sound. It was the only thing I didn't like is how it just cut off. It never faded. But that's one of those things where someday we'll get a prop controller, and that'll fix that problem. But it works, and the kids loved it. There's a couple LEDs that I have mounted to the back side of the water tower, and I also have 2 of the same color on the back side of the saloon. And those are the lights that shine up onto the rocks around the mine. Our little guy in the mine cart has one LED inside his head. We have it on yellow. Here's the backside of our little corpse. You can't really see it, but a cable runs down. Goes back here to where the peekaboo prop is. And these are the 2 LEDs that shine behind him, which cast the shadow on the wall. I don't have an enclosure for these wires. I just mounted the 2 terminals to the back side of this timber here, and you know, I was in a hurry. You know how that goes. So I'm up looking at the little water tower of skulls, and you can see I've got a couple speakers up here, and basically I've got 2 sets of speakers, one for the lightning and one for our music. I also wanted to show you the 2 LED modules that I have up here. I also have a third one right behind here. And if you follow these troughs down here, I've got the blue LED light in each tier, and then I've got the red ones underneath going just underneath each sluice box. And then of course all the red lighting. I did have another orange light that was right over here, but I think the bulb went out. But that kind of just shined up on our wall of tools and stuff. Inside the general store, again, I had two sets of speakers, one for lightning and one for sound, and I kind of tried to make them less flashy with putting a little bit of camo netting in front of them. But they're mounted, and it was kind of nice because the noise and music ricocheted and resonated off to all the walls here in the general store. There's Gina's jars, big old mess of cords and stuff. So I have my two LEDs mounted just under the side of the metal roofing inside the general store. There is where I quickly just hung the strobe light for the general store. I've got it on the slow setting, opposite of what's in the barbershop. And this is the 4-channel chase unit that I have hooked to the hangman. And basically once the motion sensor turns this on, gives this power, it then shoots power off and on to the hangman. You can see it right there. It just went off when those lights changed it to shut off. There it goes again. Someone must be walking outside. It's just a nice, real crude way of doing it without a peekaboo controller or whatever those are called. I made 2 of these light poles this year, one to go on each side of the jail and Undertaker facade, and they are a couple of the lanterns, the cheap lanterns that I drilled holes and converted. There are 4 bright LEDs inside. They're hooked to a, I believe it's called a Betatronics circuit board. I'll attach more information on the description of the video, but that's what lets it flicker on and off from the 4 lights. It barely fit in there, but it works really nice. And all of those work lights that you see back behind the Undertaker facade they go to the lightning machine. And then there's another skeleton with some LEDs in his eyes. But that's what all those halogens are. And the 2 black lights are 4-foot work lights that I had behind the columns last year, and it kind of was just fun for the kids and made their costumes bright, and it also illuminated things like the fountain and the hangman, some of that stuff. And of course the pumpkins all have little lights in them. This is the room in between the jail and behind the Undertaker, and you can see the 2 purple lights hanging. That was to shine some light through the Undertaker windows and through Gina's little white curtains that she has. See all the little bugs flying around because they're attracted to this black light. But for the lightning, on each side I had one of these halogens and one of these pointing at the building. There's also a big one there that kind of shined light center on the saloon. And I also have the 2 sets of speakers right behind here, and there's another set on that end as well. You can see these pipes that we ran across the tops of these walls, and that's what we draped this burlap over to give a nice little ceiling over the jail. See the little cable running from behind the skeleton? I strain relief that all the way down this wall, and then it drapes down. There's where the enclosure is for all the lights for the jail and the Undertaker. There's where I mounted the air valve that runs our little town drunk. Just screwed it to the back side of this Undertaker facade. Alright, inside the jail, I had originally put several lights up here, and it was just way too bright in here, so I just have one of the RGB LED modules, and I just have the white light, which is all 3 colors on, and that gives it enough light in here for people to see and still be dark enough to where it's not so scary. There is also another one just right in front of this little guy's head there, and I have that on a yellow. Both wires lead back through this wall on just the back side of the Undertaker facade. I also had a speaker just mounted to the underside of the roof of our house, and again I just kind of tried to hide it with a little bit of burlap. You can see the lightning lights that I have. I have a couple of them, one right there and one right there, and those shine up into all the leaves of this tree here, which really gives a nice effect. Most of the lightning that I set up, if I don't bounce them off of houses or facades, I try to shine them up into these big trees here. And to do this, what I do is I have them aimed, you know, from the Undertaker pointing up, and then I also put a bunch on the roof of the house just behind all these, shining up at the trees. So I'm up on the roof, and I just wanted to show you guys the lights, the halogen lights that I have up here for the lightning machine. I've got 2 over there in that tree that I showed you, and then I've got this one over here, and what I do is I just run the cords, kind of wrap it around a couple places so it doesn't fall, and then I have it shoot down the side of the house, go under the carport, and then around the front of the house by the front door into our bedroom. And you can see the town from here. It looks kind of ugly. Nothing's painted on the flats that face the house, just because we just ran out of time and stuff. But yeah, you can see the 2 lights there that I just have clamped to the tree branches and stuff, and then I just wrap the cord around to kind of act as a strain relief. Someday I want to get some LED spotlights that are, you know, bright and stuff, but for now this works good enough. And what I did is I hid the light down from the peak of the roof just enough to where you can't see from the front street. And what I've got it aimed at is I've got it aimed at these trees right here. And what would happen is this light would light up these trees, and it was real nice because basically you could see it from a few streets over, and it was just kind of nice to have people go, oh, what's going on over there, you know? They must be giving away some candy.